like, did you have that? Because I could see people being very attracted to that.
Yeah. What I will say is it did sometimes get me into trouble because... Hey guys, welcome back to the PopTini Pod, episode 3.
Ooh, baby, and it's going to be a good one, Marina.
I'm really excited. It's going to be fun to tell my story, my side of the things, and where I got to, where I came from, how I got here, and whatnot. So I'm excited.
Yes, Marina has all the stories. I can't wait to hear all of your behind the scenes of Hollywood stories, the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between, because I know you guys always have the tea for us, Marina. So as always, guys, we're going to give you our teeny teaser. So again, our rundown for the day. We're going to recap our crazy weekends. We're going to dive right into Marina's story today. We're going to go over our teeny tops, which is our pop culture topics. And we have some juicy ones I cannot wait to get into. And then we're going to wrap it up with our teeny takes, which is our recommendations. Marina, every weekend that you have is straight up an influencer weekend.
Listen, this weekend was Venice Fest.
Like, what is that?
So once a year, there's a street in Venice area that kind of closes down. And I would say it's like a 3-block radius. And there's like booths and live music and restaurants are open. So it's just kind of like a block party. And it's kind of to kick off spring, summer, and kind of enjoy the outdoors. So a couple of my girlfriends met up and we went out and grabbed drinks. We went and got like fruit on the stick, which, oh my God, let me tell you, I was like so excited to get this like fruit on the stick, and it was like glazed in sugar, and they didn't have prices on the board. And I was like, I'm just going to get one. How much is it going to be? Guess how much it was. Just guess.
I'm like $8 to
14. $14.
Jeez.
Like insane.
Hashtag America.
Like, okay. So I was like, Natalie, take a picture of me with it because it was $14. Like, but it was really good and it was fun. We just like bopped around and it was just such a nice Saturday. So that was my weekend. I didn't do much past that. Just hung out with my pup, but it was good. But I heard you went to 30A, which I've never heard of. Okay. Please give the people of the West Coast a rundown because we don't really know Florida. We don't know the East Coast. Like, what is 30A? Like, what is it?
30A is popping off. It's basically a gem. It's like a little gem in the middle of Panama City Beach area, which Panama City Beach is known to be not the greatest. Like, no one wants to live in Panama City Beach. It's known for like Party Central. I know some of my friends who were news reporters had to live there for a few years and they're like, this is the worst. But 30A is the new place. All the influencers are going because it's so beautiful. People like to say it's like the Europe of America. So I wanted to put the theory to the test. Yeah, I vlogged for you guys. My whole thing is this worth the hype? And here's the thing. Architecture of 30A, where we stayed, was the bougiest. It was Alice Beach.
Okay.
Which is so beautiful. It's like the Beverly Hills, I should say, of that like North Panhandle area. So you would definitely stay there, Marina. And the architecture is very Grecian. Like, it feels like you're in Greece. And everything's walkable. Like, if you stay in Alice Beach, you will be able to walk everywhere. It's beautiful. Like, lots of cute shops, amazing sushi. Like, we had amazing recommendations. We could walk everywhere. We had 20,000 steps a day. It was amazing. But is it worth the hype? Here's the thing. Most people don't stay in Alice Beach. They stay in Rosemary Beach, which is right next to it, which is also beautiful. Lots of different, shops and things to go to. You need to stay at very specific locations that give you private access to the beach. We had private access to the beach.
Cool.
If you stay anywhere else, like, you need to really make sure that you have access because there's really no public beach access. You have to drive out really far, lots of tourists. But Rosemary Beach has that cute little area where everyone stays at the Pearl Hotel and they go to La Crema. And we had so many fun, like, rooftops and so many fun drinks. Like, we didn't even drink that much. It just felt like we were always having cocktails, which is so much fun. But I'm like, this doesn't feel like Europe to me. But I think a lot of people just haven't been to beach towns. Like, I'm like, this isn't Europe.
They've never been to Europe, so they go there and think that it's like Europe, maybe?
Yeah. If you're going to keep comparing it to Europe, people are going to go and be disappointed.
Right.
So I think it's definitely worth the hype. Like, I want to go back. I think it's beautiful. I don't think you who live in California are going to be that blown away.
Right. Yeah, I hear you. Oh, good to know. Hot take, hot take.
Yeah.
But I'm
And
glad you went. I'm glad you had a fun time, got all your cocktails.
Marina, you are the one who's always jet setting everywhere, but you started off in Hollywood. Well, you actually came from Sacramento, but what brought you to Biola? We went to Biola University and to Hollywood. Did you always know, like, I'm a little behind the scenes star?
Yeah, I mean, as a young kid, I just loved pop culture. I watched News probably from when I was like 14 or 15. I remember like Jason Kennedy and Ryan Seacrest being on it and Juliana Rancic, who used to be Juliana DePandy on it back in the day. Like, I was so honed into that. I was obsessed. And obviously, I watched TRL just like every other millennial girl would run home and watch TRL. And I just loved it. I still have that like Teen Vogue mag. I don't know if you remember this, that has like Hilary Duff and Mandy Moore and like the Olsen twins on the cover. Like, I just went home like recently and found it. And I was like, oh my God, my youth. Like, I just absolutely loved it. I loved LA. I loved Hollywood. I knew I had to be in it somehow. And so I was like, how do I get down there? My friends went to Biola University. And so I was like, okay, I'm just going to go there too. I really didn't have any other option and ended up moving to LA. That's kind of how we met, is like in college. And I immediately started doing internships. I was like, what internship can I get into? So my first internship was Dr. Phil. It got me into the studio lot. The show filmed at Paramount Studios. And so I got to like ride into Hollywood and like go into the Paramount gates every other day. I want to say was my internship. And I was just this like 19, 20-year-old kid, like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm here. Like, the most iconic movies have filmed on this lot, and I get to go and like have my picture in a little, ID card that says Paramount Studios. And I just felt so like I've made it, even though it's like my first internship. So I did that my junior year. And then after that, my producer from Dr. Phil loved me a lot and referred me to Jimmy Kimmel Live, which was those internships were coveted. The late night host internships were insane to get. And I was truly lucky to even get that experience. So I worked the green room where all of the talent or the actors, the singers, whoever were coming in to interview hung out right before the show. So I can't even tell you how many celebrities I saw in those rooms because it was a million. God. Like Heidi Klum was there, the like Mumford and Sons, I think like Jonas Brothers at one point. Like, it was just always so many different people. Like, I think Britney Spears ran through there, Ryan Gosling, Rachel McAdams. Like, I was just like, I remember having this story where Mark Wahlberg was there and I was so starstruck. I was like walking back up the stairs and he was talking to producers and my head was like tilting and I just like could not stop looking at him. And my boss was like, Marina. And I was like, okay, yeah.
So I want to know, in your green room, because that's where you get to see like, okay, celebrities are asking for weird things. Like, what was some of the weird stuff people like? Were they asking for like only green M&Ms or like, what was it like?
Yeah. So there's something called a writer, which is what celebrities give to whatever show they're going on, anything like that. They can request exactly what they want. I don't remember anything like crazy weird. This was so long ago. This is like 2010, 2009, 2010-ish. But I will say, this is kind of controversial now, is Diddy. Diddy was there. And I worked with him and he was about to go on, but he was like demanding a bottle of like, I don't even know what it was, like champagne or Dom Perignon. And they're like, Marina, can you run down to the corner store and like, please get this? He like will not go on unless he has this bottle. And it was just such a silly request.
Wow. And so he wouldn't go on.
Yeah, that's what he was saying. Like,
God.
I'm not going to go on unless I have this thing. And I had to run down and go get the bottle. And by the time I came back, he was already on. Like, it was just so silly.
Yeah.
That was one celebrity that I specifically remember like running errands for. But it would be like little random things, like certain snacks they would want or candy or whatnot. So nothing outrageous, pretty typical. But yeah, it was a very fun internship. And then from there, I went on to the Cannes Film Festival, which is in Cannes, France, it's the south of France. Okay. And I got to kind of shadow this publicist who was helping some of the actors. And so I got to go into like some of his interviews and press junkets.
Yeah, press junkets.
Yeah. Things like that. So I got to sit in on some of those.
How was that? Because you're getting to see it. I was always at the press junkets as a journalist.
Right.
Which is totally different, right? Like, celebrities try to be nice to you for the most part during those. But you got to see it from the publicist side. What was that like?
I think I was just standing in a corner, just hoping no one would see me or talk to me, honestly. I was just like, stay as quiet as possible. Like, do not say anything. But it was fun being in a very like intimate space and getting to hear these actors' stories or why they made the movie or whatnot. So that was fun. I got to sit in on a panel for Drive, which was Ryan Gosling's movie. And
your boyfriend!
Literally anybody that knows me knows that I am obsessed with Ryan Gosling. Like, I am so obsessed. I've loved him from The Notebook in 2004 and on. Right. Like, everything he does, I watch. So I was like, I have to be there. So I got to sit in on the panel. And then after, I asked for a picture. So I have a picture with him, which I like covet. But that was super fun. And then I watched the movie.
Wait, what was it like meeting him? Was he just like stunning in real life?
He is just the nicest, most just like down to earth guy. Like, yeah, of course. Hey, what's up? How's it going? Like, he was just so sweet. I mean, he was like talking to a ton of people, but he definitely stopped and like let me take a picture with him and whatnot. So he was really, really kind. Like, just the nicest guy. Everything that everyone says about him is so true. But then I watched the movie Drive, and it's so bloody, and I was like, I cannot watch it. So
yeah.
Being in the south of France with Ryan Gosling was one of my favorite memories, I would say. So
frame that photo. Gosh, what a good celebrity to meet and like have that experience, because I hate it when you meet someone and you're like, they did not live up to the hype.
And that's happened before too. Yeah, for sure. I mean, everybody was there. Johnny Depp was premiering Pirates 4. Brad Pitt and Angelina were together at the time when he was premiering Tree of Life.
Wow.
Elizabeth Olsen was doing a movie that I'm not going to remember how to pronounce. It's like Mary Magdalene something. That was like one of her big movies. She's the sister of Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen.
Yeah.
So it was just so fun to just be there and running around these movie screenings.
That's like top A-list.
Right. Yeah. That film festival is elite, I would say. So
wow.
It was super fun. And then I came back and started doing paid gigs. So our mutual friend, Aaron Benitez, actually hooked me up. Yeah, we love Aaron. He hooked me up with a production coordinator who helps me get commercial jobs. So I started working in commercials, and then I did music videos, and then I did reality shows.
And at this point, because you've done like everything, like now kind of seeing what you've done, you've been behind the scenes, you loved news to start. So it almost made me think you might end up in entertainment news, which is funny, full circle.
Yeah.
And then you got to be with a publicist. Now you're working on sets. Were you like, was that the ultimate goal, to work on sets, or did you not know?
Yeah, I think like I wasn't fully sure, but I knew I wanted to be on set and see those actors and get to be behind the camera and get to see how these like people were doing it. It's just so electric to be on a set, on a soundstage, and watching it all go down. It's just, it's so crazy and so like intimate at the same time. So I really enjoyed that. I went into, so that was like commercials, music videos. And then I did Housewives of Beverly Hills, which was my first and only reality show, I want to say.
Were you watching it at that time?
No, I didn't watch anything. Like, I didn't watch any of these shows that I worked on, which is curious.
Time probably. People don't realize.
God. No. So like when you're working production, it is like minimum 12 hours a day, like 6 a.m. And sometimes I would have a call time of like 3 p.m., which means if my call time's at 3 p.m. on a Friday, I am working until like 4 or 5 a.m. on Saturday morning. And they used to call it Fraturdays. So Friday and Saturday together.
Oh my God.
Because you just keep working through the weekend. And then you have to be back at work on Monday at 8 a.m. So like those days were insane. Like I loved it in my early 20s, but I can't even imagine doing it now.
Right? So, Hollywood is such a like early 20s game. If you want to be like hustling like that, and now it's like even harder to keep up a continuous life. I think a lot of people don't realize, you know, as an actor, you see that it's gig to gig, but people don't realize, Marina, can you explain that production is the exact same way? 'Cause I didn't even realize that casting was like that until I heard my former agent say, casting is trying to get their next thing.
Yeah, everything is freelance. Anything you're watching on TV or in the movies, everyone is pretty much freelance. So, for example, like Aaron got me my commercial gig, And then whoever I was working with commercial was like, oh, hey, I'm doing this project for a music video. Do you want to come on this? And I was like, okay, yeah, I'm not working great. And then that person gave me the next thing and then the next thing and the next thing. And that's not saying it's like immediately after. It could be like 2 months after they could call you and be like, are you free? Are you free? Are you free? I would be like on vacation sometimes or back home and they'd be like, hey, can you come in tomorrow for a shoot? And I'm like, yes. And I would just drive back because like you need the money. You need the experience. Like you do not say no at the beginning at all. You're always like, yes, I'm available. Yep, I'm available. I will be there in 3 hours. Like you have to. It's just the game, the name of the game.
Yeah, very feast or famine. Did you feel like, okay, now I have a big chunk of money, I need to save it? Or were you someone who knew it was going to come, like your next gig was going to come?
That's so interesting. I never thought about that, actually.
I think as an actor, you're like, oh, God. Like, that's why I never traveled then.
I think I always knew it was going to like, I knew, like, I never applied for anything and something would always work out. Like, I knew something would always pop in. I think I probably didn't work for a total of like 2, maybe 3 months throughout the entire thing. I always had something.
That's amazing.
And 3 months isn't that bad.
Yeah.
So I did Housewives for, I think this was season 2 or season 3. This was like Yolanda Hadid, Adrienne Maloof, Kyle Richards, Lisa Vanderpump. This is like the OG Beverly Hills.
People would love to be a fly on that wall. So tell us what reality TV is really like. A lot of people want to know, oh, is it scripted? Are they making stuff up? Like, give us the tea.
I mean, there's an outline, okay? So it's not scripted, but there is an outline of what the storylines are. And you kind of get fed some lines here and there. Producers will kind of say, hey, like, say this or bring up this, see how she reacts or whatever. I would say majority of them were pretty nice. Like, Kyle Richards was my favorite.
Lisa that's so nice to hear.
Yeah, Lisa
about her.
Vanderpump was like, okay. I spent 4 days in her house, like making sure everything was okay before this like white party that they were going to film, like spray painting mirrors, making sure all the artwork was cleared, everything. And she was just like, fine. It was just like, I'm staff. Like, you know what I mean? Like, do this, do that. I got this. But Villa Rosa is such a beautiful house. So I was happy to be there, honestly.
Ooh. And then you got to work on like such iconic shows. Ben and Kate was your first one, right?
Yeah. So then I moved to scripted. So scripted means you're watching like a half-hour show, maybe an hour show, and it's a sitcom or it's, you know, on a network television show. It's not reality. Ben and Kate was a show with Nat Faxon and Dakota Johnson's first show. So, and now I think most people know Dakota Johnson from 50 Shades of Grey. She's coming out with this new movie called The Materialist. I'm so excited about that.
Oh, yeah. And she's in the new Verity that's going to be coming out next year with Anne Hathaway.
That too.
By Colleen Hoover. Yep.
Yeah. So she's definitely doing a lot of big things and it's crazy to see. But I used to run and go get cigarettes for her because she needed cigarettes. Or like her boyfriend would come visit and like her friends would just be on set. She was nice, but she's only like a couple years older than me. So I can only imagine her starting like her big first show and kind of being intimidated about that.
Yeah. Was she more quiet? She looks more quiet.
She's definitely quiet and kind of kept to herself, but also very nice. My friend was her personal assistant. So like I got to kind of be around them a little bit more than most people did. And she was really cool. Like she was just down to earth and her parents are so famous. I think she's been on so many TV sets. She knew how it went down. So
she was in one of my yoga sculpt classes once.
No way.
And it was after 50 Shades of Grey came out. I was like, what is Dakota Johnson doing like behind me doing yoga sculpt in Studio City?
Yeah, I love that. That's so fun. That's the thing about LA is like you just like live here and see so many random celebrities in your class, at your grocery store, whatever. So it is kind of fun, but sometimes you're like not looking at it and you're like, oh, hi, Hilary Duff. Sorry. My bad.
Duff pops up everywhere, which is like, I'm okay with, but I ran into her so many times and I just want to be like, you know, I want to be best friends with you.
Yeah.
You know?
I know. Right.
She gives that like, yes, I'm your best friend. I know girls.
Yeah. She's like, move along. Along.
I feel like you went through all the stages of production, right? Like commercials, music videos. It almost seems like you're climbing the ladder. Reality TV and then scripted. Would you say just felt so much more elevated than all those other things?
Oh yeah, getting scripted, I was like, I have made it. That's it. I'm great.
Yeah.
Like,
Especially a sitcom, like
I'm
on a studio lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Ben and Kate shot on the Fox studio lot in Century City, which is the exact place that How I Met Your Mother is shot at the same time. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and also New Girl.
That's like the best time. Oh my God. Those are like the best shows to be on the same lot for.
It was incredible. So Ben and Kate and New Girl came out at the same time with Mindy Project as well, but Mindy shot at Universal, so across town. But they all came out at the same time. They were all marketed kind of together. So once Ben and Kate got canceled after the first season, I kind of just hopped onto New Girl season 2 because we had already known the same people. It was very similar production team. Our offices were on like pretty much like in the same building on separate floors. So you saw people all the time. So it was just an easy transition. I worked a pilot and New Girl right after. And working New Girl, I came in season 2. So everyone was like besties already. And I was like, hello. It was still so fun and iconic because it was picking up speed at that point. It had only been out for 1 season. People did like it, but it was definitely not what it is today by any means. But the cast was incredible. Production was great. Everyone was just so fun. And the star-studdedness on that show, for example, Max Winkler directed a couple of that episodes. Max Winkler is Harry Winkler's son who played, I forget his character name, but was in Happy Days. And he's really good friends with Steven Spielberg and Rob Reiner. So one day I was like driving the golf cart and I like pull over on set and I look over at the trailers and it's just the 3 of them standing there. And I'm like, this is insane. Like, and you can't go over to them and be like, hey, how's it going? Da-da-da. You're just like, you have to be professional and be like, okay, that's like the biggest director in Hollywood is like standing about 10 feet away from me.
That is so wild.
Yeah. And it was just, that was like a daily occurrence. Like every single day there would be someone random. One of our executive producers was best friends with John Mayer and he was like on set. Like it was just all the time someone would be coming to set or checking it out. Kobe Bryant came to set one day and that was just incredible. I did like the Lakers. I would say back then I wasn't a huge Lakers fan, but Kobe Bryant in himself is just this magical being. Legend. So having him at work for me was wild. Like just
this is like the millennial golden age for
my God.
Of television. And that's when episodes were coming out one at a time. Like you had to wait. Which do you think that's what made people so obsessed with the shows? Because you'd be like waiting for the next episode?
Yeah, probably. I mean, there were 24 episodes in a season, which is also insane. This is back in 2012. And yeah, you had to wait. You couldn't just binge everything. And it wasn't only just like 8 to 10 episodes like it is now. And it was also streaming was not a thing in 2012.
That's so crazy.
You had to have cable to watch it.
Like I can't. We sound so old. I know. I can't. Like that is actually wild when you process things. I think that's why so many TV shows now get such big hype, and then they die down like within a month because you're like, okay, cool. Like I watched the whole show. Let's move on to the next.
Right. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So tell us what all the people were like because you're in season 2, so they're probably getting like, oh, this is getting good, but maybe not so cocky yet. So how were the guys? How was Zoe?
Yeah, Zoe was, I would probably say, probably the most famous person on set out of the cast. She had been an elf, so I think people kind of knew her from that. She was nice. She definitely like did her own thing, was very professional and kept to herself. I loved the boys. Like Max was incredible. Jake was insane. Like they were all so funny and so nice and down to earth and just like happy to be there. Happy to have a show that's been on for 2 seasons at the time, which is insane.
Yeah.
Now that we know it's a 7-season show. So they were just, and Lamorne Morris won an Emmy recently for the show he's been on. Like, I'm just so happy for all of them and where they're going, where they, have gotten their accolades and gotten their flowers. Liz Merriweather was the creator of the show, and she is just like so iconic in herself. Like,
yeah, what is she like? I loved her. I studied her.
She's a creative genius. Like, she is just the nicest, kookiest, like down to earth woman. Like, she was so sweet. I'm trying to think of the movies she's done. No Strings Attached.
Yeah, she's just like our girl. She's like such a millennial girl. I remember her saying that she wrote Zoe's character like it was kind of her.
Yeah.
Like that kooky. Yeah. That was so iconic. By the way, can we just take a moment to acknowledge that you just called Max and Jake like by first name, not Max Greenfield and Jake Johnson. You have an effortlessly cool energy. And I think that's why you kept getting jobs. Do you think you had that energy while you were on set, you know, working in production, behind the scenes? Like, did you have that? Because I could see people being very attracted to that.
Yeah. What I will say is it did sometimes get me into trouble because I was an office PA and I was on set a lot. I was on set a lot more than you should have been. Like, I was just like bopping around, but I was best friends with everybody. I was like, what do you need? I'll go get it. Like, what do you need? I'll go get it. Like, what do you need? I'll go get it. Like, I should have been in the office more, you know.
Yeah, but you were working it.
I loved it. I loved talking to the art production team. Like, I liked talking to like the gaffers and lighting guys and like whoever. I was like, hi, what's up? What do you guys need? What's going on? Da, 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 da. The writers on set. I was like, do you guys need anything? Like, I'll go get it. Like, I was just always like there. So I just had so much fun with it. Like, I loved it. So Foxlot was really fun to shoot on. I would sneak on to different sets. Like How I Met Your Mother was one of my favorite shows, and I got to sneak on their set and see everything that they were shooting, which was so fun. I mean, there was always something like shooting and you would just go see it if you wanted to, or you'd walk by the fake New York street and be like, oh, there's Julia Roberts, like whoever. I don't know.
That's really fun. Living the dream, like a sitcom set for anyone who hasn't been, like even just as Marina was saying, driving onto the studio lot. The only way I can explain it is magical, right? Like it's just fiery. I know the life of working in production is so gig to gig, as we were saying. Yeah. What do you think you loved about it? And what were you like, this is exhausting?
Yeah, I just love being a part of it in any capacity. I was just so happy to be there. As a PA, so as a production assistant, you are running, like, you're copying scripts, you're running lunches, you're doing all the bitch work, which is fine as a 20-something straight out of college. Like, that's how you have to start out there. So I was just happy to be there. I was happy to be on set. I was happy to, like, be around these, like, legends and incredible people and get access to any of these people and the lot in general. I love driving the golf cart around. Like, that was one of my favorite things, was like getting in that golf cart and being like, where are we going? Let's go to the fake news. Like, I had so much fun with it. I think like the hard parts is like the hours and just being on your feet all day. It was, you know, like I said before, 12 to 14-hour days. You're exhausted. You do not have a life. Like, you don't have dinner. You can't go to dinner with anybody. You can go to a happy hour. That's not a thing. And your weekends are spent doing like your random errands or sleeping. Like, that is it. And these shows, like the scripted shows that I worked on, were about like 6 to 9 months at a time. So that's your life for 6 to 9 months. You can't take PTO. You can't take time off. That is not a thing. You have a doctor's appointment.
That doesn't exist. I forgot. You have to explain that to people. Yeah, that doesn't exist.
You would literally have to be like, I'm so sorry. I have to go to this doctor's appointment for like 1.5 hours. I promise I will be back. Is that okay? Like, that's literally how it was. Yeah. And they'd be like, oh, fine. Okay, you can go.
Blacklisted. Yeah.
Wild. So after New Girl, I went on. I was actually trying to get out at that point. I was dating someone in Seattle. And so I was like, I kind of want to move up there, but I also want to go into corporate entertainment. So like be like an executive assistant for Fox or NBC or Disney, whatever. Someone came to me with an opportunity, like it always had. I never interviewed for anything.
Effortlessly cool, Marina.
I was like, I don't know how I'm doing this, but I got a call that they're like, Community season 5 is looking for an office PA. Like, are you interested? And I was like, I'll go in. I'll take the meeting. So
at that point, it's season 5, so you know now. Oh snap! Like, that's
and season 5 gets paid more. I'm gonna give you guys the breakdown on the pay. As a PA, I think like $150 a day was like typical, I would say ish. And when I say a day, that's 12 hours. 12 hours is you get $150 for 12 hours.
Yeah. So do the math. That's like,
if you do the math, it's minimum wage. Yeah. And season 5, I think they paid like $175 a day or something. And I was like, yes, more money. Like, I'll do it. Yeah. So I was like, let's go. So I was like, you know, I'm excited to take a role and get more money. And it was shot at Paramount, which was where I started, which is actually like beautiful full circle moment. And so I was like, I know this lot. I miss this lot. Let's do it. And it was close to home. So I took the job and I worked at Community for about, I think it was like 7 months. I want to say this is like 2013, end of 2013. And it was just fun. Donald Glover was finishing up the show and then he was saying he was going to do music, but he ended up doing Atlanta and winning an Oscar and being in Star Wars, and like, just getting to hang out with him was like insane, and his like geniusness. He would joke around on set. Like I'd be on set at like 3 a.m. and he'd be like, Marina, I don't need any more coffee. You can go home. Like, so why are you still here? It's so late. And I was like, no, dude, I have to be here. Like, come on. So he'd be like, I'm getting an Amber Alert on my phone. Please go home. Like, he was so funny. He was so funny. Like, I love that guy.
How much did they improv on the set of Community and on the set of New Girl? Because you know how sometimes the actors have so much banter and they're like becoming best friends, like Jake and Max, for instance. Did it seem like everyone was just improvising a lot?
The thing is, like, I wasn't watching all day, so I don't know. I'm running around. I'm running errands. I would maybe stand and watch for like 10 minutes and then run away. The one thing I regret is like not being an extra in Community. Like, I'm kind of sad. My picture, if you watch certain episodes, my picture is in the background of stuff. But I wish I wish I asked one of the like ADs, the assistant directors, to bring me in as like just an extra. But Joel McHale was really nice. Allison Brie, Gillian Danny Pudi, like Chevy Chase was on like one episode, but like it was just like stacked cast. Joel McHale was just like the coolest of the cool. He was just like, I am Joel McHale. And he like ran that set. And so when we were ending the show, I helped him like hand out wrap gifts. So at the end of every show, usually the cast will put together money and give like all the crew like a wrap gift, like a mug or like a zip up or whatever it was. So I helped him with that. And I was telling him how I was going to move to Seattle soon because I made that decision to like leave entertainment and move to Seattle. And he was like, I'm from Seattle. I love it so much. And he gave me this really nice, expensive bottle of wine and was like, go have fun in Seattle. Like, I miss it. And so that was really sweet. But the set was just like family. Like, you were with those people all day, all the time. So it was just really fun. Oh, and my one story that I'm like totally wanted to like tell you guys is there's something called the $5 bucket challenge. I don't know if you've ever heard of this, Ashley.
Wait, I haven't. I don't remember it.
So I think it was like every Friday or every other Friday, they would do kind of like a lottery thing where everyone puts in a $5 bill and writes their name on it. And they throw it in. And so it just becomes this like big pot of money. But the like executive producers and like the writers and like the cast who made so much money wouldn't throw into it because they don't need it, right? So they would put like IOUs on the bucket. Like, oh, Ken Jeong, IOU, $500. Like just ran like Joel McHale, $700, IOU. So whoever got the money, they would pay them out. So I won one year and one Friday, and I won like $3,000. It was insane.
So amazing.
And they called it when it was like 3 a.m. And I was the early PA, so I was already home sleeping, and they called me and they're like, Marina, you won. I didn't answer. But I got it the next day, and Joel McHale literally wrote me a check, and it says to me and $700. And I did one of those, like, you know how you can like take the picture of a check so you can keep it? So I still have it to this day because I was so like, cute. How cool is this? Joel McHale wrote me a check.
That is awesome. I mean, the level of like income on those sets is so vast, right? Yeah. Like there's production assistants and then there are people literally making millions sometimes an episode. Yeah. So it's so wild, like the income almost disparity in a way. So it's really cool to hear that those actors were so giving and they were so like team players. I almost wonder if that is more the vibe of comedy sets than drama sets, because I've been on some drama sets as well, and it didn't feel as like, woohoo, yeah, let's make $5 bucket challenges. Yeah. So that's really cool, and I'm glad that was your experience because your personality is so just like lively and fun. Yeah. Like, let's go, Joel McHale. You know, so people would probably think by now, Marina, you're obsessed with Hollywood. Like, you should be running the Oscars. You mentioned how at the time you had a boyfriend in Seattle as well. Talk to us about how it would have never been possible, honestly, to have a relationship in production and your big swing to go to Seattle, because Seattle's such a cool city too.
Yeah, I mean, we did long distance for 2 years, and the only reason that even worked is because I was in production, to be completely honest, because we didn't see each other already. So it was like the 1 week of hiatus I would have, or like a long weekend, I would fly up there, he would fly down here, or whatnot. So that's the only reason why it worked. But I was just burnt out at that point. I think 24, I want to say. This is like 2014. And I was just like, I want a 401k. I want stability. I want like a 9 to 5 job. And I ended up moving to Seattle, and I started working at Nordstrom Corporate for 8 years. And I was in marketing positions there. I was in the buying office, and I kind of bopped around. And I remember like the first like week or two at Nordstrom, I would come home at like 5:30 and I'd be like, what do people do? Like, what do I do now? Like, I just didn't understand, because I was always like working around the clock. So I was very confused that I had all this free time. I didn't get it. So
Yeah.
but it was like, now obviously being out of it for so long, like it's so interesting. I look back at it and I miss it a lot, but I also would never go back to production life, because it is so hard. Like, it is truly grueling, but the people that do it love it. And like, I really commend them for like still sticking it out and being in it, because you really have to love it to do that job. Like, you truly do.
It's so hard, especially for women, as you're entering your 30s, 40s, whoever wants to, get married, have kids, whatever. Even if you didn't, it's such a toll on your body, like having a schedule where I could wake up super early, go to Pilates. Like, I'm such a routine girly now.
Yeah.
And that's definitely what I was craving, like leaving production as well. That's such an interesting thing for you to be able to point out at 24 years old. How did you know at 24 you were just ready to take a big leap?
Yeah, I would say like having the boyfriend and friends that lived in Seattle helped kind of push that along. I was interviewing for corporate assistant positions, and nothing was really panning out at the time. And I was just kind of like over it. Like, I wanted stability. And so I pieced out, to be completely honest. And then in 2020, I moved back to LA, which was such a crazy time. And I thought about going back into production, and I did interview for some places for, Disney and NBC and whatnot, but it didn't work out. And my current job presented itself. And now I'm at a big tech company as a project manager in marketing, and we'll see what happens next. I always have, a really soft spot in my heart for entertainment, and maybe you'll see me back in it shortly.
Well, you already are back in it. We're so just happy to reunite with you, Marina. My dad and I always talk, and he's like, you have this light inside of you that needs to come out.
Yeah.
And I've told you, I knew that you also had that light, and I know you feel it. You just have so much energy, so much to give to the world, and why not pair that with something we absolutely love? So when we started talking, like, should we do a pop culture? It was like, duh. This is what's been inside of us in so many different ways. So you're already, coming back, but you're coming back on your own terms. And and I'm sure that's going to be a recurring theme that we talk about in this podcast is make your own Hollywood. Now is the time where you do not have to be located in Los Angeles. If you are, great. If you're not, great, go make your own Hollywood, go start your own YouTube channel or TikTok or whatever it is.
Exactly.
And I'm just so excited to just be on this little journey with you, Marina.
I love it. I'm so happy that we're doing this. I think you and I obviously both love pop culture and talking about it. And we both were in Hollywood at a time when it was just booming, and it was so fun. And I love to be able to look back with you and talk about those times and those memories, and then also just chat about breaking news and what's going on and who's dating who. I love that stuff.
Before we dive into our teeny tops, our pop culture topics for today, I just want you to end your story on what is the best piece of advice you've received, and what's a little piece of advice for our teenies that you want to give.
Oh my gosh, what's the best piece of advice? I would say just to be yourself. I think I know that's so cliche, but it's also so hard sometimes to be yourself, especially in Hollywood, especially around these like big wigs and whoever that you want to like impress or like be in the right friend group or whatever, like I think that was like really hard for me when I was younger, is like I just wanted to impress everybody, and like, but also I was trying to be myself. It was just hard sometimes. So I think now, being in my mid 30s, I'm like, this is me. Like it or don't, bye, I don't care. Like,
I love that. So encouraging too.
yeah. And then what was the other one?
What advice do you want to pass on? Maybe that's it. Maybe that's what you want to pass on.
Yeah, I would say like be yourself and be real with yourself too. Is just like take a step back and like really evaluate like what you want out of that experience or out of life, and be like vulnerable and authentic, because I think the world needs more of that. I think we walk around, especially in our corporate jobs, where it's like kind of fake. Like we have to use these like corporate jargon words and we have to say X, Y, and Z. And like I understand being professional, but also like, you know, if you made a mistake, like own up to it and be like, you know what, I'm sorry, like, you know, I'm going through something or whatever. Just be real and honest, I think, is my 2 cents.
I love that the advice you got was be yourself, be you. And you're like, hey, be yourself, be you, girls, but also like be the real you, like all the sides.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah.
Okay, let's jump into our teeny tops, which are our pop culture topics. Okay.
Woo.
So
Yes.
I'm going to just say this really quickly. You touched on trad wives, by the way. You like mentioned it about Meghan Markle's show. And I actually did not know what that meant before.
Really?
And I was like, oh, what's that? And then I was listening to Alex Cooper's podcast, and she had Millie Bobby Brown, and she was like, yeah, you're like the trad wives or something. And I was like, oh my God. So this is like literally something I should know. So I ended up Googling
Marina,
it when
the whole era. Yes.
I had no idea. So now I know.
So for those of you who are like Marina and secretly don't want to admit that you don't know what a trad wife is just basically a shortened version for a traditional wife. But it kind of has this pretext of, oh, it's back in the olden days when you're like homemaking and cooking and raising children and traditional values. And a lot of these are coming off like very like modesty and submissive. And it's obviously gotten so much criticism, especially on TikTok, because a lot of women are like, I'm just a trad wife, and make all these crazy TikToks of like making homemade lollipops for their children and all these things. And a lot of people are like, you're taking us back to the olden days, like stop being so regressive. But also there's a fun energy of the trad wives. It's like, yes, a lot of people do want to live simpler lives. Mm-hmm. So for those people who view it more as a positive thing of like, let's slow down, let's, you know, bake muffins, like Meghan Markle's show is perfect for that. But yeah, trad wives with Alex Cooper, let's go.
I know.
She's like the
so
opposite.
Yeah, for sure. She also interviewed Ellen Pompeo. I am not a Grey's Anatomy girly, but it was so interesting to listen to and just hear about how Ellen Pompeo decided to negotiate her salary and listen to how such a badass she is and working with Shonda Rhimes. It was such a great episode. So I highly recommend going to listen to that.
That was one of my favorites. Yeah.
Really? Okay. Did you watch Grey's?
Ellen Pompeo. I watched Grey's growing up with my parents, and then I like hardcore binged it when my mom died. Like it was very comforting, which is so weird, just seeing people die. But Ellen Pompeo's, well, because they're constantly trying to save lives, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, something about that was very therapeutic. Ellen Pompeo's contract during that time was literally life-changing for all women in television, because she said, no, I'm not re-signing unless I'm an executive producer. And I just was always studying her because I thought that was such a badass move. And she was like, if you're going to put me in this box for a very long time, 20 years, because she always talks about she took that road that's very different than the movie star route, then she's going to protect herself. And that was so badass.
I agree. Like being on one show that whole entire time is crazy. I'm sure she did like, you know, episodes here and there of other things or movies or whatnot, but she's coming out with a new show on Hulu. And so that's why it's like very iconic. I haven't yet. No.
Okay. It's called The Great American Family. And it literally looks like the scariest thing ever. It's with Mark Duplass plays her husband. And the couple adopt a little girl, and they're like a good old Southern couple. And they're like, oh, we just want to, you know, spread the Lord of Jesus. And they adopt a little girl that they think has dwarfism. And it turns out maybe she's not a little girl.
Okay,
it looks so scary. Like all your dolls come to life scary.
I hate that. I will not be watching, but it's based on a true story. I heard about this. Like, yes, it's based on a true story.
Oh my God, that makes it even...
Yeah, you should definitely Google that because I remember that coming out and I was like, ooh, I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't... Yeah, my whole family was like, are you just asking for nightmares? Like, we're obviously not watching this. I'm like, but it's Ellen Pompeo. She says it's really good.
Yeah, I don't do scary. The other person that she is having on that the episode just dropped is Chapel Roan. And I am so excited. Like, I am so stoked. I'm literally going to go listen to it after this. Like, I cannot wait. I love Chapel. I talked about it on previous episodes. And for Alex Cooper to get her is iconic. And I cannot wait to hear what Chapel has to say about the industry, about her coming up in the industry, just everything, and about her like quick success too. So it'll be a fun listen.
Snow White completely bombed at the box office. Okay, the budget, guys, was $270 million for production. It only made $87 million worldwide opening weekend and $43 million domestic. This is Snow White. This is Disney. All of their movies blow them out of the water. And this is the live action Snow White. Here's my take on this. I heard it's not that good, but also Rachel Zegler, like since she's been cast in filming, she's just been a very controversial actress. And I think anyone who gets cast as a Disney princess needs to step into that iconic role and not be controversial. Like from the get-go, she's like, I didn't really like it when I first saw Snow White growing up. Excuse me, you're Snow White, ma'am. Like, please sit down and put on your pretty dress and sing with your dwarves. Like, do hate on Disney. I'm sorry, but if you're playing a Disney princess, you need to step into the iconicness. And she was like, I hate that it's about a man like stalking Snow White. I think that's so weird. It's just so weird. And it's going to be about something totally different. I'm like, it sounds like you just didn't want to be Snow White and you wanted to make a different film.
Oh, such
I feel
a
like
bummer.
we should see it, though.
I want to see it. I really want to see it. I'm looking forward to seeing it regardless of the reviews, regardless of anyone's political views. I just want to, I'm so curious because it's such an iconic movie. So
yeah, we'll have to compare it to Kristen Stewart's version.
Oh, I did not see that.
She also played Snow White. I didn't either. So we have to like do a movie marathon.
Okay.
But Snow White bombed. What a shame. And she gained a lot of prominence in her role in West Side Story. That's what kind of like got her on the scene.
Yeah.
So, but people are just not liking what she's doing behind the scenes. I mean, maybe she'll have a comeback, but this is not it, unfortunately.
Yeah. Bummer. Such a bummer. Speaking of very iconic movies, Wicked is officially on Peacock to stream, so you can watch it every single day for the rest of your life.
And you can sing it in your own homes.
Yes.
We know y'all got upset when you heard that I was singing in the theater.
Sing it in your own home, please. Thank you.
But is it going to be as iconic in your home as it is in the theaters?
I mean, bring some friends over.
True.
You know, call it a day.
Have like a themed party. You would totally do that with your dog.
Would love. The other thing I wanted to talk about is Selena Gomez's new album is out now, which I was really excited about it. I love it. It's so cute. Ooh. So it's her and Benny Blanco did it together. So if you don't know, Benny Blanco is a big music producer in LA. He has been on these streets forever. They have known each other since she was 16. He's written on some of her biggest hits. They've done music together. They've known each other. He's written on a lot of Justin Bieber music as well. Like, they were good friends.
That's
so
wild.
Like, he's been around. So for them to do an album together was like so beautiful, and their love story, and they're running around just promoting it and marketing it. And it's just so fun to see. I actually listened to their episode on Jay Shetty, and they were talking about how they met back in the day, how they started dating. It gave me hope personally because it was so beautiful to see like their love story and how they both personally grew to get to each other. So that was so fun to like listen to, and they just speak so highly of each other. Benny loves her so much. So listen to that Jay Shetty episode. I really enjoyed it personally.
Yeah, I saved that on my YouTube feed. It's so fun to see also like maybe your person. Oh, hello, Leo is right in front of you. And now it's time for Teeny Takes. These are all of our TV and movie recs.
Yeah,
Take it away, Marina.
I just finished The Residence on Netflix. I don't know if you watched Orange is the New Black, but Crazy Eyes, the character from that, is in this. I'm obsessed with it. It was really good. I mean, it was very much like if you are missing Paradise on Hulu, this is it. Like, this is the dark comedy funny version of that, which I really liked. It's from Shonda Rhimes, so you know it's going to be good. It's like 10 episodes. It's a murder mystery whodunit with some comedy relief to it as well. So I really enjoyed it.
I love that.
Highly recommend.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Netflix is just pumping out like very good, highly produced, almost like HBO award-winning type of content. One that's coming to mind is we just wrapped watching the miniseries 0 Day featuring Robert De Niro, Angela Bassett. Angela Bassett plays the President of the United States. Robert De Niro plays the former president of the United States, and basically they have to bring him in for an operation of a terrorist attack that happens via the cyber interwebs, and it's insane. It's absolutely insane. It's like a thriller. It's not like, oh no, this is bloody and gory scary, but it's very on the edge of your seat. Ooh. And it was so good. I love finding a show that you can watch for like men and women, because I tend to be like a rom-com girly and no one wants to watch.
Yeah, you want to watch it with your partner.
Yeah. So that was fabulous. I'm just so in awe right now of Netflix. Like,
yeah, I love that.
Okay.
And everyone's like coming out with these like presidential shows, which is so funny. Like Paradise, 0 Day, The Residence is also about the White House and a murder happening in the White House. So,
oh my God,
it's just all some new shows. White Lotus is about to end, so there's only 2 more episodes left, which it is getting so spicy, like so spicy and uncomfortable. Mike White, what are you doing to us? It is so uncomfy. Ashley, you need to watch this show.
Wait, what makes it uncomfy?
Oh, just 2 brothers kissing, no big deal, and like having a threesome. It's
Wait, like like they're actual brothers?
Well, they're brothers on the show, yeah.
Uncomfy.
Exactly, uncomfy. And then there's like 3 best friends who are on vacation. They all talk shit about each other. There's so many different little aspects of the show. And the chemistry is so good. Like, I can't wait to see who done it. It's also kind of a murder mystery. At the beginning of White Lotus that someone dies, but you don't know who and how and whatnot. So it's just like fun to see everybody's personalities and what they're going through, what their families don't know, who's talking shit. And then that's how you're going to find out who gets murdered and why. So
I'm so excited.
You gotta get on it. We're all talking about it.
I know. I just finished a few other shows. So yeah, I'm on White Lotus now. I will get on board while all you guys are getting off the train. Speaking of mystery, the girls on TikTok who are always so mysterious with their little TikToks are coming back to your television screens, and that's The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. And I already know some things that you've been seeing on TikTok are not actually what happened. You know who I'm talking about? I'm talking about Jen Lopez or whatever. Jen Affleck.
Yes.
Yeah. Jen Affleck is surprising us all because she's been playing us with all her TikToks. And no, she didn't necessarily divorce her husband. Stay tuned for Secret Lives of Mormon Wives coming to Hulu on May 15th.
Yeah.
Dang. Our favorite Penn Badgley, the sexy Dan Humphrey I will always see him as, is coming back to haunt our screens in season 5. And it's the final season of You on Netflix. That drops April 24th.
And then we just found out that Jury Duty is filming season 2. So Jury Duty, I haven't seen season 1 yet, but I know Ashley's obsessed. It is literally filmed in an actual jury, and everybody is an actor except one person, and they don't know that it's all filmed for a show, which is insane. And I need to watch it because I bet you they are probably shocked in the end when they find out that this is all just a set.
It's amazing.
They were playing him, poor guy. But season 2 is going to be at a corporate retreat. So very interesting how that's going to go. I'm excited to watch. So cool. And we'll keep you updated. We'll let you know when that premieres as well. But
Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in and getting to know Marina If you are new to the pod and you still need to catch up on our first 2 episodes. Our goal is to put out our weekly pod content. So you know what to do. Hit that 5-star review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Give us a subscribe on YouTube and support us on the gram and the TikTok, the PopTini Pod. We love you guys so much. We'll see you later.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.